Welcome to Objective 1.8, identify, analyze, and prioritize business continuity requirements, BC. Continuing with our study guide for the CISSP 2024. In this presentation, we are going to talk about these two topics: business impact analysis, BIA, and develop and document the scope and the plan. Okay, so we are already here on objective 1.8 of still in domain 1 of the 8 domains of the CISSP. Objective 1.8 of the CISSP exam tests your understanding of establishing a robust business continuity program. Business impact analysis, or BIA. The foundation of a BC program is a thorough business impact analysis, or BIA. A BIA assesses the potential impact of disruptions on critical business functions. These are essential. So the identifying the critical business functions, or CBFs, are essential functions that must be maintained for the organization to survive and operate effectively. Examples might include payroll processing, customer service, or order fulfillment, for example. Impact assessment. Analyze the potential consequences of disruption to each critical function. You should consider factors like financial loss, the estimated revenue loss due to downtime, reputational damage. What is the potential harm to the organization's image or brand? Regulatory compliance issues, risk of violating regulations due to disruptions. Recovery time objective, or RTO, which is the maximum tolerable downtime for a critical function before unacceptable consequences occur. For instance, an online retailer might have an RTO of 4 hours for its e-commerce platform. Recovery point objective, or RTO, the acceptable amount of data loss that can be tolerated for a critical function. For instance, a financial institution might have an RPO of 1 hour of its daily transaction data. Developing and documenting the BC plan scope. The BC plan scope defines the boundaries of the BC program, and this includes: 1, critical business functions covered, which CBFs are included in the plan. 2, scenarios addressed, the types of disruptions that the plan is designed to address. For example, natural disasters, cyber attacks, power outages. 3, roles and responsibility, assignment of clear roles and responsibilities for the BC activities. That is, incident response, recovery teams, human resources, etc. Resources and budget, allocation of resources like personnel, equipment, budget, right, for the BC initiatives. BC plan development. Following the BIA and define a scope, create a comprehensive BC plan encompassing various elements, such as: 1, incident response procedures, defined actions to take when a disruption occurs. Business continuity strategies, that is, methods for restoring critical functions within the RTOs. This might involve redundancy, backup and recovery procedures, and alternate work sites. Testing and training, Regularly testing the BC plan and training personnel on the roles and responsibilities, and maintenance and updates, keeping the BC plan current with changes in the organizations or its threat landscape. Here is a sample BC plan. These are some of the major areas or components. Obviously, you can adapt this to your organization, but one, you should have an introduction or an overview. Something like this business continuity plan outlines the procedures for restoring critical business functions, CBFs, following a disruptive event. It aims to minimize downtime, protect the organization's reputation, and ensure a swift recovery. Point number 2, business impact analysis or BIA summary. The BIA identified the following critical business functions or CBFs. So before you do this, you need to have a BIA, which we will see in a minute. The function, for example, order processing and fulfillment, RTO 4 hours, and the RPO is 1 day. Customer service, RTO 8 hours, RPO 12 hours. Financial transactions, the RTO is 2 hours, the RPO is real time. So obviously it depends on the company. A scope of the BCP. This BCP covers disruptions impacting on-site operations, including natural disasters, technological disruptions, and local emergencies. Roles and responsibilities. And then here you list the teams, the incident response team, the recovery teams, the management team, the public relations team, and even the legal team, depending on the nature of the impact. And the legal team, it's always involved in this kind of things as well. Incident response procedures. Upon identifying a disruption, the incident response team will assess the situation and declare a business continuity event if necessary. It is really important that it is identified clearly who is the person in charge of saying, identifying there is actually to declare the business continuity plan. And obviously the incident response team will be in charge of that if you do have a well-established incident response program or plan. If you don't have one, then these things become a problem. The team will activate the appropriate recovery teams based on the impacted CBFs. Communications channel will be established to keep personnel and stakeholders informed. 6, business continuity strategies. Order process and fulfillment, for example, implement a failover plan to a cloud-based order processing system, RTO 4 hours. The cloud is a great place to have a failover plan just in case something happens. If you are in one cloud, maybe have the plan in another cloud. So let's say that you have all your stuff in AWS. Well, what happens if something happens to, well, obviously, it has happened. But if it happens to AWS, that means that a lot of other customers will be impacted. But regardless, some companies have recovery plans in another cloud, maybe Microsoft Azure or Google, right? Maintain off-site backups of ordered data. RPO 1 day. It is extremely important that we have solid backups that are tested and that those backups are not part of the regular network, because when there is a cyber attack, for example, the bad guys usually look for those backups to infect them as well. So it's important that to have backup that is that is not connected. It's either off-site or somewhere else, right? Customer service, activate a call forwarding service to a secondary call center, RTO, for example, 8 hours. Utilize a web-based customer support portal for non-critical inquiries, RPO 12 hours, for example. Financial transactions, leverage a geographically dispersed hot site for real-time transaction processing. RTO could be 2 hours. Maintain continuous data replication to the hot site for real-time recovery, RPO real-time. Again, all of these pieces, testing and training, it's another piece, maintenance and updates. And in the appendix, you could have contact information for key personnel, vendors' contact information, and third-party agreements. This is a great base, the foundation that you can start to create your BC plan. As noted here, this is a sample BCP, and it should be adapted to the specific needs of your organization. A comprehensive BCP will include more detailed procedures, specific communication plans, and disaster recovery procedures. Okay. Now, when it comes to sample project plan for a BIA, which should be done first. So an introduction, something like, this business impact analysis, BIA plan outlines the methodology for assessing the potential impact of disruptions on critical business functions within our organization. The BIA aims to identify key functions, analyze their responsibility, rather their vulnerability to disruptions, and determine acceptable downtime thresholds, such as the recovery time and objective RTO, and the data loss tolerances or recovery point objective or RPO for each function. Another key component is the BIA process. And something like, the BIA will be conducted in a phase approach. So this is like a project plan to create the BIA. Phase one should be data collection. You should identify key stakeholders across departments to participate in workshops and interviews, gather information on business processes, systems, and dependencies, collect historical data on past disruptions, on their impact. That would help a lot. In phase two, you may or the business function identification, you should develop a comprehensive inventory of all business functions. You need to understand exactly how the business works. Prioritize functions based on their criticality to the organization's success, of course. Phase three, impact assessment. Conduct workshops with the stakeholders to assess the potential consequences of disruptions for each critical function. Consider factors like financial loss due to downtime, reputational damage to the company, regulatory compliance risks, and customer satisfaction impact. In the phase four, you could include something like RTO and RPO development. Establish RTOs, that is the maximum tolerable downtime for a critical function before unacceptable consequences occur, and determine the RPOs, which we just talked about that, the acceptable amount of data loss that can be tolerated for each function. In phase five, documentation and reporting. Document the BIA findings in a comprehensive report, which might include the identified CBFs, the impact assessment for each function, establish RTOs and RPOs, and recommendations for improving business continuity. The BIA deliverables. The BIA will deliver the following key outputs: a prioritized list of critical business functions, an impact assessment report detailing potential consequences of disruption for each function, establish RTOs and RPOs, recommendation for business continuity, etc. You should have a section for timeline resources, a section for communication and approval, and next steps, depending on what you are going to do. But the bottom line is that this BIA plan provides a structured framework for analyzing the impact of disruption on your organization. By following these steps and tailoring them to your specific needs, you can conduct a comprehensive BIA that lays the foundation for a robust business continuity plan. Prioritization, really important. Based on the BIA findings, prioritize critical business functions and recovery efforts, functions with the highest potential impact on the organization will require the most stringent recovery timeframes and focus and robust recovery strategies. By effectively identifying, analyzing, prioritizing BC requirements, you can establish a BC program that safeguards your organization's critical operations and minimizes downtime during disruption. This translates to reduced financial losses, reputational risks, and ensures continued business operations in the face of unexpected events. So as a CISSP professional, you must understand these BC plans in the BIA and be able to help your organization create these documents. At the same time, that information will be needed to pass the certification exam. That is all for objective 1.8. In the next section, we will cover objective 1.9, contribute to and enforce personnel security policies and procedures. Hope to see you then.